The Senzo Meyiwa murder trial has been adjourned until tomorrow morning. New witness, forensic analyst Mmampshedi Masetla took to the stand this afternoon. He's been talking to the court. He's been taking the court through the samples from the murder scene and the DNA results received from them. My colleague, senior reporter Slindelo Masikane, was in court a little bit earlier today. He's back now just to tell us what happened in court. First up, Slindelo, good afternoon. The cross-examination of Zungu finally concluded.
Finally concluded today, Bradan, in the morning session of the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. We resumed at around 10 a.m. this morning, where we saw Advocate Zungu for accused number 5 wrapping up her cross-examination, where, of course, she has been trying to poke holes in the testimony of Zungu, much like the other defense lawyers, where Zungu has, of course, told the court that he was with the accused on the night Meyiwa was shot and killed, and that he remembers some of the details around what they were wearing, the conversations that were had, also saying that he remembers that the accused at the hostel where they were in Vosloorus were speaking about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa when it hadn't actually made the news as yet. So we then saw that the state was supposed to, of course, then call a cell phone data expert as the next witness. However, the defense for the accused objected to this, saying that they don't have all of the data that's been downloaded from the phones of accused number 5 as well as accused number 2, and that they don't want to proceed with the evidence of the cell phone data expert until they have the complete records of the cell phone data that's been downloaded. Let's take a listen.
3 years now, but cell phone records are not yet ready, my lord. Now, the problem that we have with this kind of an approach is that each time we put a version to the witnesses that the states are calling, they come up with something new. Then come the next witness. We are also expected to put a different version from the first version that we would have put to the witness, on the basis of which we couched our defense based on the information that would have been available then, madam. This prejudices the accused person's defense in their case, madam, because at the end of it all, we are going to argue about the credibility and the honesty and the reliability of what these witnesses are saying, madam. It seems to me like the state was not ready from the beginning. And if that is the case, my lord, it is not an embarrassment for the state to stand up and say, my lord, we are still busy investigating this case. We're therefore requesting a very long postponement of this case. I don't think any colleague of us was going to object on that one, my lord, because then we would know that come that point, after that very long postponement, then we know that the state would have said, you know what, we've got all the information now. This is going to be a machine and a train that is going to run from Pretoria to Durban without any stops and goes, my lord. But as things are now, I can tell this court, my lord, from the solitude of my conscience, that we are yet expecting another surprise in terms of new evidence that is going to come up from somewhere, and that is going to necessitate this stop-and-go issue, my lord, which I say in the main is prejudicing the manner in which we are couching the defense on behalf of our clients, my lord.
Okay, Slindelo, after Constable Zungu ended his cross-examination, we saw a new witness taking the stand earlier today, the forensic analyst Mmampshedi Masetla.
Certainly, Bradan, we resumed the afternoon session of the trial with a new witness taking to the stand, and that is a DNA expert or a senior forensic analyst from the South African Police Services, who was part of the team that analyzed the DNA samples that were collected from the crime scene, as well as samples of DNA from the accused and those who were in the house. We began his evidence in chief with him telling us, of course, of his qualifications, and then going into the details of what was collected at the scene, and also explaining what DNA is. He then went on to telling us about the samples that were taken from the scene in terms of blood splatters from the TV stand, from the kitchen wall tiles, saying that DNA matched that of Senzo Meyiwa, also proceeding to DNA collected from door handles in the house, saying that some of the DNA matched that of Gladness Khumalo, which is the mother of Kelly Khumalo, one of those who was in the house on that fateful evening, also proceeding to some DNA collected from alcohol cans, saying that the DNA there matched that of Zandile Khumalo as well as Meyiwa, but also then proceeding, Bradan, to DNA which was collected from a hat which allegedly belongs to one of the alleged intruders who went into the home on that fateful evening. This is a Scotch black, white and brown hat, which you would remember from some of the evidence that's been led by one of the first responders on the scene, Sergeant Thabo Musia, who said that he had collected a Scotch hat from the kitchen floor of the home. And he said that those who were in the house confirmed that it was that of one of the alleged intruders. But the DNA that has been collected from the hat seemingly excludes the DNA of the samples that were taken from the alleged from those who are alleged to have actually committed this crime, who are on trial at the moment. Those are the 5 men who are in the dock. Let's take a listen.
And then we also have swab 12 from Hienegen, and then that particular swab included the deceased. So those particular swab from the bottles is the ones that you swap where the person drinks, is then that you will know who was handling that particular exhibit. And then there is a Scotch hat, and then on that particular Scotch hat that was found on the scene, that particular Scotch hat excludes the suspect.
When the proceedings adjourned at 3:30 roundabout there this afternoon, Slindelo, the judge said they'll resume tomorrow. The cross-examination by the state prosecutor of the forensic analyst was still underway. Do we expect it to continue tomorrow when they resume at 10?
That's exactly what we are expecting, Bradan. We are expecting that the forensic analyst will then delve a little bit deeper in terms of that evidence, or the DNA that's been found in this particular hat. Because you would remember, Bradan, that the state in this particular instance is leading circumstantial evidence. And you've heard that, of course, while the DNA in the hat excludes that of the suspects, when we adjourned, the forensic analyst was actually going into a little bit more detail around the XY chromosomes that were found in the hat. He had already begun elaborating that XY chromosome that was found in the hat could mean that it's DNA from more than one male persons, or it could be DNA from a female as well as a male person. So I think we're going to get a little bit more clarity around how the state plans on linking this hat to the suspects who are in the dock.
Thank you very much, Slindelo Masikane. They're just wrapping up the day in the court proceedings today in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, resuming in the High Court in Pretoria, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.